All right. In honor of President's Day, I'm at Sagamore Hill, historical site in the woods of the estate of the great Teddy Roosevelt. Thought it'd be funny to make some commentary, maybe walk around the grounds and try to speculate what it might have been like to be around those times. And I don't know what we'll see, but I know at his house, he's got a lot of stuffed animals on the wall. No, not teddy bears. I know that's what you're thinking. He was a big-time hunter. I'm not sure if there's anything interesting to say, but I figure if I just talk like an idiot, something good will come from it, so we'll just keep going with it. Now we got Miles on the trail. I picked up most of his poop, ran out of a bag, and we were just down at the beach. I made a little video where I romanticized what it might be like or feel like to have been just relaxing down there after a hard day's work on the farm. Yeah, if time isn't real, then everything that's happened is always here with us. It's a theory I have. So perhaps when we start believing things now, then what seemed like objective reality changes. Because really, the idea of before and after only happens in our imagination with a conscious being, and someone confirms it with language and they say, well, this was from this long ago and this many years past because I've been putting a nick inside the wood every cycle of seasons. Interesting. But we're the ones who connect that. If you were just a brand new being open to a bunch of scrabbles on a scribble scrabble, it would mean nothing. Just like the second that just passed as you watch this video is gone in the same way Caesar crossing the Rubicon is gone. So which would make more sense for parallel realities, meaning there's layers at all times? The eternal moment. What can be said? So Teddy's here with us. I don't fucking know. All right, here. Domesticated land. Horse and carriages. People with good attitudes. So many things. You'd be too busy to overthink, I'd think. What seems cool about Teddy, whatever the hell he is, there's something weird with the president, allegedly. He didn't mind getting busy and just getting his hands dirty. I don't know if it was just a big political campaign. I think he was the real deal, obsessed with overcoming obstacles. We don't have that sense of arete, as the Greeks would say. Or even just the whole idea of the Olympics was meant to celebrate trying to achieve virtue in this life, physically, mentally, spiritually. And I was taught in the universities that the art was a reflection of the culture at the time and the philosophy. And it's true. Definitely read some of that. I think there's a little more to it with all the gods and all that. But I told you I was going to romanticize how much of a badass a guy who just made up a reason to go down to Mexico and win a war with the Rough Riders. And our football team, well, the Little League anyways, called Rough Riders. We're the Rough Riders. Pretty badass. I think he actually did it. Went down in a cavalry. And then he would hang out in his beloved Oyster Bay. This entire Oyster Bay Cove area is just peppered with the old world. Huge estates that a lot of them not really maintained. As the more money, the more problems you have. The next generation not facing the same struggles as the predecessors. But I guess the way around that would be is to not put fear into them, not shelter them. But if you hang on to your past, like, look what I did, you're doing nothing, as a way to motivate, I don't know if that works. It's more like life chooses to bring something out. Will you take the call? And will you follow thoughts? Or will you follow truth? And what is truth? Well, it's not an argument. It's not a logical conclusion, necessarily. It's something seen. Gnosis, that's the one that's more interesting. Facts about things. Coming up with reasons to do things based on thoughts. Well, that's not going to work. Ambition. Well, I guess Teddy had ambition. Or he had connections. Or he had both. In the rare moment in history, he wasn't just a character of himself, this guy. From everything I've learned, because I grew up around here, I've taught a thing or two about him. I haven't read books about him or anything. I know he used to go to my church, and my pastor told us a story about him and his sons, and they would play this game. They would pick a place on the map, and they would have to go through it in a straight line, as straight as possible, to get to that point. So that would necessarily and metaphorically represent the obstacles we have to overcome, right? So, you know, if someone's house is in the way, you're going to have to knock on the door and explain the situation and negotiate, convince them, use persuasion. If there's a bunch of trees, you're going to have to climb over them. You're going to have to figure out how to do that. And every problem is a gift, because every problem brings out the ingenuity and the creativity that is God-given, since we were created in his image, right? I don't know if they said that. Why are we fascinated with these stories of men and their struggles and their accomplishments? I mean, apparently he was a sickly man, and they said he would die young, and he overcame illness and wanted to show the world that he's a tough guy. Went through the pain, mind over matter kind of stuff. And then he had 2 terms, almost 2.5 or something like that. Oh yeah, and he was shot and he finished his speech. I mean, it's the stuff of myth. How accurate everything is, I don't know. But if it were all propaganda, it was a much better sell than nowadays. Because I couldn't see an average guy not wanting to be behind this guy. He seems like a real friend, like he really cares, and he doesn't have fear, like a real man. Maybe like the love of the father? This is some random garage. Could have been repurposed. I want to know though, like, what were the siblings fighting over? Were they having petty arguments? Were they arguing over some sort of comic book or cartoons in a magazine? Like, what was going on? Fighting over the wood toys? Who gets approval? Who gets to ride that horse? What horse? Over the estate? What was dinner like? What were they talking about? That's what I wish I could tap into. There's probably journals. Did he go to any secret societies, allegedly? So you have this whole setting. There we go. We got Edith, 1903, riding like a legend. Cows, getting their food. There was no Stop and Shop, just the market, the general store. Saw plans for a new barn built. Never kept there. They were never kept there. It sounds like a bougie problem, man. They're just like, all right. I mean, you are the president. We can have as much stake as we want. No, Edith. We will live like the people we govern. Yes. It'd be fun to imagine these things. What is Teddy? Was his affair with ambition? Did he ever feel rest? Did he even die? Is he some shape-shifting something? Allegedly. We don't know. In the meanwhile, the gyrations of nature continue, despite this legacy that all I can do is hold in my mind with imagination. Does that mean every moment and anywhere you go, you can dissect meaning and metaphors that are poetic and relevant to every single moment of our lives and the struggle we face spiritually? Maybe. Probably. People have said that. People who have more brain cells than me, able to do more stuff at one time or whatever. Over here we have, let's go in. Now you have no time to go to therapy. You just gotta get your sickle, pitchfork, get to work. At the end of the day, you never regret working that hard. I don't know what they're doing in here. Oh, slaughtering chickens. I mean, hey, the food had to have been great, I would think, that they've been making at home. The poultry. I mean, it's all old hat. I'm sure in the 1800s, so many people were farmers, but there were city people. I don't really know the history of Teddy, what he was doing, but here's a little space, and keep going. There we have some wind-powered thing in Majingy doing cool things. Wow, honestly, never even been in here. Allegedly, they were standing here, but what was is if it doesn't remain. Look at these. Was this for a newspaper, or did a journalist want to make a story? I think he's the real deal, man. Look at him, deep in thought. 2 cuts. No smiling on camera. No fake ego. This kid's smiling because he got a toy. And you just normally dress well. In late stage capitalism, luxury goods are rare. Then it was normal. All right. Okay. I am now at the famous Sagamore Hill porch in a comfy chair. They used to have rockers, but I'm sure some people ruined it for everybody and they took them away. But because it's President's Week, they're giving tours, so I got to be a fly on the wall. And the guy was saying right here, actually over here, there's no stairs. He removed the railway because he was a rock star. Hundreds of people would gather to hear him talk, and he wanted to shake their hands. I guess at the time it was cool just to be a cool dude and do awesome cool dude things. Whereas now, if art is a reflection of the values, it's all unraveled, pretty much. But maybe it comes back full circle. Because when shit gets too crazy, people might wake up. When the dream and delusions start to crumble, then we manifest what we need from our unconscious, allegedly. I'm kind of interested to actually read what he was saying at these times. Maybe I should go to the museum gift shop. I don't know if it was for his ego. I mean, he is on Mount Rushmore. It's a pretty bold thing to do, put your face on there. And I think he constructed it while he was president. I might be wrong about that. More interesting than history, why do we want to study history? What's important about it? What is imported with the the assumption of history being a real field? What is it real? How? It's always interpreted. History is present in our memory, stored in symbols that we unlock, and discourse continues, crystallizing like snowflakes, more like a pile of dirt, layered and layered, and sediments but in a meaningful space. But with real things like this historic site. Events happened. Where did they go? Why is it so important for us to want to know? If anything, it seems more like a seeking life, but sometimes we forget and detach from a construction in our imagination. And then there's serious people who just want to argue with other people about what happened. The past is now.